Hello, everyone. Good evening. First, I would like to appreciate the whole community member for this opportunity and to be part of the guest speaker for this first community meeting. I'm actually honored and thank you very much. And secondly, I think I would like to I would hope you guys can hear me, please. Can you confirm you can hear me clearly?
Yes, we can,
yes,
my boss.
Okay,
boss.
thank you very much. So secondly, I would basically like to actually talk about the money part. That is not entirely true, actually. So please. Okay, so let's get started. Exploring GIS together. So actually, I created this sub-theme for exploring GIS together, and I titled it Pathway to Get Things Started. And of course, as it has been stated before now, I am also a student, right? So how did I get started with my career being a student, and now you're hearing that, okay, this guy is a software engineer, geomatic software engineer, from where to where, he's in 300 level. So basically that's like 3 years interval. And of course, currently we have used 4 years in school, right, due to delay. But my career started as a web designer. Actually, basically, I don't even have anything. I don't know what GIS is. I don't know anything about GIS. I think I choose electrical and electronics engineering to get started with, and I was unable to gain admission that time. And my brother made mention of what's it called, Surveying and Geoinformatics to me. I had to do my research, right? And after doing my research, I was like interested in the course, so I just had to make one or two other researches, do some online courses, and start looking for how to match my web design skills into GIS, which led to me becoming a geospatial software engineer. And of course, I was self-taught during all those processes. I did not have anybody to directly say, do this, do that. So I was just taking different online courses and every other thing like that. So basically, I'm here to tell you that you don't have to be discouraged. Wheresoever you are now, you can always start from there. You don't know anything about GIS, you don't have any knowledge, it's not the end, right? You can always start from where you are at the moment. So the few opportunities like this community, for instance, this meeting, you can always maximize the opportunities, right? And I would also tell you that it is not a straightforward road. It comes with a lot of ups and downs, right? And okay, where do I work currently? I currently work in a company called AirSmat. AirSmat is an agro-based AI company, right? So basically, we build software applications that has artificial intelligence integrated into it to help farmers in Nigeria and Africa at large, make precision farming, right? So moving on. So what are my early inspirations? Like I said, I had to do some research about surveying and geoinformatics. To be sincere, right? I'm being sincere here. Surveying is one thing, even my classmates know, right? Surveying is one thing that doesn't interest me, because the moment people hear surveying, all they think of is what's it called? People that measure land, right? So they limit the extent of surveying to cadastral surveying, which is not meant to be. They don't look at the other parts where we call geoinformatics, right? So basically, some of us are students in this same university, Unilag, and we are currently in our year 1, year 2. We don't even know what we are doing. We don't have full understanding. We shall know that we are attending courses, right? So basically, surveying and geoinformatics is a very awesome course. When I mean awesome, I mean it's basically have integration with any discipline you could think of: mathematics, computer science, application in any field of study you could think of. Maybe you want to be in military, you want to be you want to be in management, you want to be anything at all. It has an integration, it has an aspect of that particular discipline, right? And geoinformatics comprises of different things. It comprises of surveying itself, or geomatics, which means basically surveying of land, right? Then it comprises of computer science, electrical engineering, and any other thing that you could think of. Now, the second thing that actually helped me in my journey is diverse applications of GIS. Like I said, basically, I'm just okay, I can come and study a single course that will give me the privilege to actually be able to like talk anywhere that I want. Like basically in our year 2 we did introduction to electrical and electronics engineering as a course where we were taught about some electrical stuff, circuit theorems and all of that. With that knowledge, as little as it seems to be, right, I can basically stand beside an electrical student and I could freely talk and engage the person. Why? Because I have that knowledge. Then, not limiting to that knowledge alone, I can even apply that knowledge. Along the way, I'm going to like show you in my journey in the software industry and profession, how I was able to like apply that particular electrical and electronic skills into GIS, right? The third one is seeing beyond the presence, right? I think when we were in year 1, year 2, I think I used to tell my friends that I just want to be in geoinformatics. I'm not interested in surveying, right? Though it is the bedrock actually. So it's because I have seen some trends. We call it trends and patterns, right? Where it is pointing to GeoAI and spatial SQL. Now in the GIS world, what everybody is thinking about is GeoAI, spatial SQL. If all you know about GIS is the basic use of ArcGIS, QGIS, then you are working in an outdated world, right? Because a lot of things are going to like displace you. Currently, we have a particular software company that they have built up a software application that can map network systems. So all you need to type is good networks in Unilag, and it's going to show you a map that contains only the road networks in Unilag. You can do something like topology of University of Lagos. As far as the term University of Lagos can be geolocated, then that's it, right? It's going to like give you the response. All these things are being done with AI. And that is why the whole AI is not limited to ChatGPT. It also applies to our industry, even in GIS. Then spatial SQL, compared to back then where all people are doing is just basic database management system, just using SQL to do some basic query and all of that. With the rise of companies like Google, Google Map has done so much work and they have helped the industry in even transportation, right? We also have the likes of Uber. Uber has a special team and a special like subdivision organization specifically for all these transportation mapping, geolocation, spatial SQL and all of this. They have a special team dedicated to it, and these guys are evolving, right? Currently, I think when it comes to spatial SQL, the major talk now is talking about 3D, right? It's talking about 3D, and there's a particular term now that we use, I think H3. Yes, H3. It's a concept whereby 3D is being saved into databases. Like when I mean 3D, I mean location-based data, right? That's what geospatial simply means, location actually. Then the fourth thing that helped my journey is what I call the global disaster and climatic issues. I'm this person that every year, day in, day out, there's always flood in Nigeria. There's always one issue or the other. Why can't we provide a solution to it, right? So that also is part of it. Though here in Nigeria, we are not faced with earthquakes and the likes, but majorly, there are There are a lot of There are a lot of issues going globally. That was why I used the word global, that we can even solve. We don't have to limit ourselves to here in Nigeria. We can solve global problems. Uber is not a Nigerian company. It's a company outside the continent, and they came here to Nigeria to solve our transportation problem. You understand? So don't limit yourself to Unilag. Don't limit yourself to Nigeria. Think globally. Solve global problems. Then moving on, so let's talk about my experience. Sorry, I can't see I can't see the chat. So in case anybody is trying to like ask a question, I would prefer if someone just like notify me about that. So experience using GIS. Well, I have quite a lot of experience using GIS. Like I've been in the I've been working for about 4 years now, right? Even before I actually entered into school. So, but I will mention just few that has different concepts. So the first one is Smart Mapper. This is one of my company's app actually. So Smart Mapper is simply a software for processing area imagery and 3D visualization. In 200 level, this second semester, you guys will be doing photogrammetry, and a lot of concepts that will be taught in photogrammetry is actually used in this software. So what's and how this software works is by using drone, right? So we deploy drone to the particular farmland, maybe in the northern state. So when the drone pilot gets there, already map out the drone flight. There's something we call drone flight. That's simply how the drone is going to fly. You must have seen an imagery, satellite imagery of how the farmland looks like, to give him an instinct of how to plan the drone flight so as to cover to cover a lot of ground in a very short time period. But the major thing about the drone flight is actually overlapping of the images. The more overlapping the images are, the better it is, because it's going to help us analyze the data more accurately, right? These are majorly photogrammetry concepts and a little bit of remote sensing, right? And now what happens is, after all those images have been captured, remember, they are not just images now, they are geospatial images, they are geospatial data. Why? Because they contain location. You might be seeing an ordinary image, but that within that image, it contains features like location, like height, that has been taken from the from the drone. Now there are a lot of concepts. If you're in 200 level, you will basically be doing all these things by now in photogrammetry, but there are a lot of concepts like the NADI and a lot of all those things, right? Because of time, I won't be mentioning any of that. But it is a very interesting concept that by the time you are learning it in class, and you just give yourself that openness to imagine how you can apply it to the industry, it's going to be very beautiful. So what happens is, we get all those images. They can be 500, they can be 1,000, 2,000, 3,000 images, right? We now combine all those images, then we send it to this particular software called Smart Mapper through the cloud. So that's where cloud computing comes in. So when this software gets those images, it is going to analyze those images. It passes through about 7 different processes before it gets to the final stage, where it fuses those images together to make it one. Remember, 3D visualization, the end goal is to fuse all those images together, right, to now make it to be awesome. Then it will now transfer it from a 2.5D image to a full 3D, that someone in, let's say, US can visualize that particular farmland as it is in real life here. Then aside that, there are other there are other analysis that is being done, like NDVI, that's vegetation indices, water indices, and many other stuff like that, to give the farmers and the owner of the farm that, okay, this particular farmland is good to plant this particular place is good to do this. The second one is Farm Sense. This is where I was saying that I will talk about Internet of Things, how I apply those electrical concepts here. So here I basically work with an embedded system engineer. I am limited in my knowledge of, personally I have knowledge of robotics and electrical stuff, but I am limited in professional experience. So I work with an embedded system engineer who designed the concept, like the circuit system, the electrical devices, like the like the embedded system that was used. I think we later switched from Arduino to a private company embedded device. So this particular device now working with what we call temperature detector, humidity detector, and some of all those stuffs, right? We were able to put them into the ground and use the embedded device to record the values